Killian reached the hotel, but suddenly one of his men came running to inform that Rowena's co-worker who stole the ring was found dead. Hearing that, Killian got afraid that the queen must have involved and Rowena could be in danger, so he hurried and ran to Rowena. Rowena heard knocking at the door and she was aware it could be Killian, so she hid Damian at a room. As Killian doesn't know about Damian's existence, she couldn't believe Killian is in front of her. She asked why he was looking for her after all this year. He replied, he can throw away his thing anytime and get it back as he wants. Watching Rowena's reaction, he realized he is nothing but a demon in her eyes. He offered to start over again and Rowena declined. Hearing her scream, Damian asked if she was okay from inside. Killian got angry and thought Rowena had a son with some other man. He provoked Rowena about having an affair with other man and forcefully kissed her. Rowena slapped him hard on the face. He told Rowena that he would come back tomorrow to pick them up, and they would live with him. He left then. Damian saw his mom crying and said he doesn't want to be with someone who makes his mom cry. The next day, Killian's butler came to take Rowena and Damian. As he saw Damian, he said anyone can tell Damian is Killian's child just by seeing his face, but Killian hasn't seen him yet, so Rowena begged him to not tell anyone about Damian's existence and he agreed. The butler was kind to Rowena. Before the train departed, Rowena got a chance to meet Damian. Then she went to Killian's chamber. Rowena was sitting quietly. Killian didn't like that. Rowena asked why is he so desperate to take her back. He replied that he was only retrieving his own trash and kissed her. Rowena endured everything, thinking about Damian. Then she fell asleep, but when she opened her eyes, she found Killian beside her and she was thinking. Killian never slept beside him before when they had intercourses, then why now? After arriving at Rockford, Killian ordered Rowena to stay at the room beside him. When Killian is not around, the butler took Rowena to see Damian. She determined to leave this place in her mind. Next day, she got a letter from Harriet, who wrote about a teacher for Damian, but Rowena realized she was talking about her uncle. Damian was confined in a room that made Rowena pity for him. He wanted to visit the lake beside, so Rowena took him there and promised Damian that they will leave this place soon, which made Damian happy. After coming back from the lake, Rowena around Killian waiting for her at the room. Killian asked where she was and she replied she went for a walk. Killian remembered in the last 5 years he had an empty hole in his heart. He though can forget Rowena for good, but later he found Rowena didn't take the money he gave her, so he was furious and thought he will strangle her to death if he ever find her, but the moment of reunion was different. After seeing Rowena, he had a different feeling. He realized he needs Rowena. He said next day Rowena need to sign a trust fund for her, and she can see Damian in specific time. He also promised to take her to a boat ride at the lake. Not long after that, they went to a boat ride. Rowena was thinking, why was he being so generous? They had been having lunch together every day and Killian never forced her to sleep with him these days. Rowena started crying as she missed Damian. Killian felt worried watching her crying and comforted her, saying he will let her see Damian more often. After going back to the mansion, she found Melissa, her favorite maid, who lied to Killian about her maid. All these misunderstanding. After meeting Rowena, the maid felt guilty. Later, Rowena saw the port of Killian's ex-wife and thought Killian only see her as a shadow of the girl he once loved, so she decided not to fall for him again. At night, she told Killian that missed her this 5 years, and she is not mad at him anymore. After that night, their lifestyle changed. They are more affectionate towards each other like newlyweds. Few days later, Rowena's uncle arrived as Damian's teacher, though no one knows that he is Rowena's uncle. Rowena met her uncle after so long, but they pretended like they don't know each other in front of others. After observing uncle's personality, Killian's secretary found nothing to doubt. When they got alone time, Rowena told everything to her uncle. He felt so sorry for her. Killian asked how was Rowena's day and she said everything. She has done like charity work, castle works, and she has been doing everything she wanted to do 5 years ago, just like Duchess does. Rowena wished she could visit that island they used to visit and make some good memory, because her uncle made a plan to help them escape from Killian, and that island should be a great place to flee from. Killian said they will go there after they have as much as fun possible in the capital. The next day, Killian found the friend of Rowena, who betrayed her 8 years ago, and has been working as a courtesan in Rowena's name. Killian insisted on killing her, but Rowena chose to forgive her. After taking her home, he was amazed by the purity of Rowena's mind and thought, if she can forgive a traitor like that, maybe he can hope for forgiveness too. Few days age, Melissa confessed about lying and proved Rowena's innocence. So he realized, as she was loyal to him, then the child must be his child. So he went to see Damian and felt touched. The next day, Damian woke up and heard the Duke gave him permission to go out anytime. He went to the park, sitting on a bench, and suddenly Killian sat beside him. Damian never saw the Duke, so he doesn't know Killian, and Killian also hid his identity. They had a little talk, and suddenly a wolf appeared in the street. Killian saved Damian from the wolf and got bitten, but the wolf, he left the spot before anyone showed up. He didn't want to let anyone know about him knowing about Damian. To hide this injury, he told the maid that he would be out for a few days for business. Damian came to see Rowena and told about the wolf and the man who saved her. He said he wanted to go there again to see the man. The next days, Damian went to the park and waited for the man, but he never showed up. On the way of coming back, Rowena met a countess who had a salon and wanted to chat with her. They were chatting, and that countess told her that the queen have found a fiancé for Killian. She is going to be his next wife. Hearing that, Rowena was shocked and realized Killian hasn't come home for days, so he must be preparing for his marriage. She felt heartbroken. She thought Killian will get married again and she will be thrown out again. A few days later, Killian came back at night and he looked different. He suddenly asked Rowena how was her life during the last 5 years. Rowena wondered why was he asking such a question, then said she had a peaceful and happy life more than ever. Maybe she struggled, but she loved living with Damian growing up. Then Killian asked how was a childbirth. Rowena felt offended by those questions and explained about giving birth to Damian. Suddenly Killian said he is gonna adopt a dog, and this time it will be a lifetime commitment. She remembered how he once threatened her with the dog story. Next day, they went to select a dog and took Damian. Killian chose the dog that Damian liked. After that, he hurried somewhere holding Rowena's hand. Rowena felt uncomfortable, as many people were watching them as a mistress she can never keep her heads up while holding this man's hand. Then Killian took her to a boutique house and bought a lot of dresses and jewelries. He also showed affection towards Rowena in front of the people of the store. On their way coming back, Rowena furiously asked, why was Killian doing all those public show-off? And Killian got annoyed and said, why can't they do it? He would do as he please. Then Rowena said, what's the point? Rather, it would put him a difficult position as he will be getting married to another woman soon. Killian was surprised and furious because he doesn't even know that he will be married. He furiously asked, where did she heard those things? And who is the woman he is going to marry? Rowena got scared by his reaction. Killian asked if she wanted him to get married. Rowena replied she is not qualified to be a duchess. Their relationship will come to an end anyways. While Rowena talking, Killian suddenly kissed her and Rowena kissed her back and embraced each other. She wanted to show her love and make him suffer more than she did. She wished to go hunting with Killian.